Russ, Greg Olson hasn't necessarily caught a ton of passes, but it seems like you're really comfortable going to him on big third downs, fourth downs. For a guy who's new to the team, and you guys didn't obviously have the preseason and all that, what's allowed you guys to connect so well so early?
Well, I think first of all, I'm definitely comfortable with Greg in every way. I mean, he's just so confident when it comes to catching the football. He's made a lot of big time catches over his career. Like I told you guys before, I think I've got nightmares of Greg, catching the football against us, and he's just a great player. He understands the game. He loves the game. We spent a lot of time in the offseason together. He came out to San Diego, California, and we spent a lot of time together, putting in the work. And then, as well as when we got back here, we tried to be as safe as possible and just quarantine ourselves and just throw the football around. So I think he's taken it on upon himself. Obviously, he's one of the best vets to ever play that position at the tight end position ever, and he looks the part, acts the part. He's confident as can be, and he's been a great teammate too as well, and a great friend.
Ben Arthur.
Russ, in the time you've been in Seattle, is this the best offense you guys have had, just coupling the play calling where it's at now with kind of the personnel you guys have?
Yeah, I think we're playing on the highest level we've ever played. I think, in terms of what Shadi's calling, he's doing a great job of mixing it up and challenging the defenses and everything else. But then also, on top of that, our playmakers, our players that we have, just the versatility at all positions, at the receiver position, tight ends, running backs, everybody all together. It's been special. We've had some good ones before for sure too, and so, I think that guys like DK and Tyler, they're as good as it gets. And guys like Doug Baldwin in the past, he was pretty amazing. Kurt's made some clutch plays for us too. But then I think as we think about the clutch players that we've had over our time, obviously Marshawn. We've had some great players, for sure before. But I think the collective group that we have too as well is really great. And I think also too, the amount of work and studying and everything that we've put into it. What you put into is what you can get out of it, and I think that's what we've done.
And then just quickly on the other side of the ball, Ryan Neal is a guy who's kind of risen the last couple of games. He's a guy who considered quitting football and, has had back-to-back games with Hicks, and he's filling in for, Jamal and those guys. Just what have you kind of seen from him?
Well, Ryan, I have to go against this guy every day in practice, and I think that he makes me better, vice versa. He sees everything. He's decisive. He makes plays. He just knows how to find the football. And so he's been an awesome addition to our football team over this time, and he's made so many great plays for us so far. And he just needs to continue to, keep his head down, just keep working, And I think that's been the cool part about him. He's all about the work, and so that's why he's been special for us so far.
Thanks, Russ.
Yeah, thank you.
Corbin.
Hey, Russ, you've gotten a chance to play against the Vikings pair of safeties several times, one of the best duos out there with Harrison Smith and Anthony Harris. And they've got a lot of new players at the cornerback positions, though. Jeff Gladney, they brought in Cam Dantzler in the draft as well. But what have been your early impressions of this secondary that seems like it's playing a little better the last couple games?
Well, I think it's all about, just the safety play that they have in terms of Harrison and Harris too. I think both of those guys, they can make so many plays, and I think they're so decisive. They're confident in their play. They disguise really well, all those different things. And so it'll be a game of little cat and mouse, which we always have fun with. But I think that I got a lot of respect for those guys and how they play the game. And their corners, obviously they're younger, but I think they're very talented too, and they really played a great game last week. They made some great plays, and just I think it's going to be a great game, a tough challenge for us. Their defense as a whole, obviously losing Barr, obviously I think hurts them a little bit, but I think that they've got good, confident linebackers, obviously, in terms of how they play, and Kendricks and everything else, and up front they got playmakers too. So. It's going to be it's always a challenge against the Vikings. We always have these amazing matchups and back and forth, and we got a lot of respect for how they're coached, how they play, how tough they are, and so it will be a great game.
Thanks, Russ.
Yeah, thank you.
Mike.
Hey, Russ, whether it's, people calling you short before the draft or grading you an F after the draft, like you've driven motivation from people doubting you in some type of way. Why is that?
I think for me, I thank God that just, He's given me the opportunity and the talent to be able to play this game. It's not about anything else other than that for me. It's about my family too. And so I think that at the end of the day, I think that when I go out and play, I want to be the best, and so I think that I've always kind of heard I'm too short or whatever, this or that. So, for me, when I wake up, it's really just about, just continuing to try to make a difference for some kid somewhere else. I was told they couldn't do it. I think about that a lot, honestly. I think about just the idea of I think that's just the idea of just leaving it all on the field every time I play. And I think that's something that my parents both taught me, my mom and my dad. No matter what you do, leave everything there. And make sure whenever you leave a place that people always remember you. And I think that that's something that I've always just thought, just every time I step on the field, if I'm playing an away game or home game or whatever, that may be the only time that young kid gets to see me play, ever. And so if that's the case, I want to make sure they remember it.
You remember your earliest memory of someone telling you couldn't do something and then being able to do it?
I mean, you have the things that young kid, and you really young. People say you can't do something, but I think that more so probably when I was in 8th, 9th grade, you kind of hear people say that you're too small to do this, to that, and I think that for me, I went to a private school, I went to collegiate school in Richmond, Virginia, so a lot of people didn't think, oh well, that football may not be good enough or this or that. And we played some good football. We beat a lot of the public schools and teams around us, so I think that was really the thing that I was kind of having an uphill battle on, because I wasn't playing the public school system necessarily, but I was playing against them and we were winning. And so I think I heard that a lot, especially when I went to visits and stuff like that. People thought, okay, he's going to play DB or something like that. I heard that a ton. I went to UVA football camp. They kind of told me that, looked at me like that, and I remember going to UNC and them when I was older, actually when I was like a junior or senior, they loved me at quarterback, but they had already signed a guy. Paulus, and I think they said to me, we can offer you as an athlete, but we can't offer you as a quarterback, that kind of thing. So those are just moments that I remember distinctly that, and my dad, I never forget, my dad told, Coach Signetti, who was actually the offensive coordinator, who's a great guy. I have a great relationship with Coach Frank Signetti, and Coach Bunting was the head coach at the time, and my dad said, hey, listen, just give him one chance, give him 5 minutes to throw. That's all you need. And so, and then Coach Signetti said, all right, we'll give him 5 minutes, and I'll never forget that, because I was in their office, and as I left the office, my dad kind of grabs me by my elbow and says, give him the best damn 5 minutes you ever given him. and so that I'll never forget that. And it was a good 5 minutes.
Thanks, Russ.
Yeah, thank you.
Brady.
Hi, Russ. We heard DK after the game gave you an unsolicited endorsement for MVP. What would that award mean? I know there's a long ways to go, obviously, but what would that award mean to you?
I think it's a testament of just a lot of hard work, a lot of great players, that are in this league, and a lot of guys that I, get to go up against and play against, and great teams and everything else. And the MVP award to me is a collective team effort, and really, to be honest with you, it's about winning. It's about everybody, doing their part and us doing it together. And I think that's just the reality of that award. I think that obviously it's great play by that one individual, whatever it may be, but in this game, it's never about the one individual, it's about the group. And I think that's what I look forward to about just the idea of just continue to win and just try to play one game at a time. I've done this for, it's my 9th year now, and so I know it's a process and it's a long journey, and I look forward to the journey, and I look forward to every opportunity I get to step on the field. And so I think that we got the right guys. Obviously, DK saying that, he's I love him to death. He's one of my closest friends on the team, obviously, and just I think that the reality is that it's a testament to all the hard work you put in, all the hard work you put in with Jake Heaps in the offseason, all the hard work you put in with your teammates, all the hard work, watching film, all the early mornings and late nights. And despite it's offseason, it doesn't matter. We're still in season. I think that's just kind of my mentality. And so we may not be playing a game today, but I'm visualizing one. And so I think that's just kind of just remaining neutral in the process of this journey that we're going to go on for the next 12, hopefully 12 games and more.
Greg.
Russ, what is it about David Moore that he makes some unridiculous catches in key situations? And how did you get the trust of him to throw in such – I'm thinking of Carolina on 4th down. Mm-hmm. What is it about him that you trust him for relatively less playing time than some other guys?
I've always had this belief that I think he could be one of the best receivers in the game. He's an unbelievable athlete. He's a confident catcher. He catches the ball, he catches the ball clean every time he puts his hands up. He he's extremely fast. He's got unbelievable explosiveness in terms of jumping and just running through guys and everything else. And so he's really hard to tackle. And I think that he's just an ultimate put together receiver. He can do it all. I think the thing that just him getting more opportunities, him getting more chances is always key. And you guys know me. I think that when the game's on the line, I don't fear to give the ball to anybody. If you can find the right guy at the right time and try to give him a good chance. And I think that we've got great guys that can make those plays, and David Moore is definitely one of those guys. And so I think he's been spectacular this season. He came in with the right focus, the right work ethic. He's a tremendous teammate. He gets along with the guys great. He leads. He works extremely hard every day at practice, and you can't mistake the hard work. And when you put it in, that's what you get out.
Art Teal.
Hey, Russ. After his first positive test, did you get in touch with Cam Newton? And if so, did you learn anything about cautions and pitfalls? And if not, how shocked were you?
How what am I?
How shocked were you?
Well, we were in Miami at the time, and I think it was that Saturday morning. I think is that right when it came out? I'm not sure. I can't remember exactly. All those days seem the same. But it's a super unfortunate situation. Obviously, with COVID, it's impacted, everyone. It's impacted families. It's impacted jobs. It's impacted opportunities. It's impacted sports. It's impacted our fans. It's impacted everyone. And unfortunately, it impacted Cam and obviously the Patriots, and it's impacted, the game of football, especially in Tennessee and stuff like that. And it's been tough to see. The first thing I think about is just guys' safety. I didn't get the chance to talk to Cam. Obviously, I knew that, it was DK. Obviously, I knew that, it was probably pretty tough on him and the team. I know he's such a great competitor, and I knew they were supposed to be traveling. So, but I think that in terms of protocols and stuff like that, all I know is I'm not sure what other teams are doing. I know that we're doing a great job of Sam Ramsden's an unbelievable job of making sure that we're extra safe, wearing our mask at all times, doing as much as we can to be, on top of all the little details that we need to be, washing our hands. That's all these little details that when COVID kind of first started happening, and the extra care that we were all doing, I think for everybody who was listening and everybody who's, all you guys too as well, you kind of naturally can forget about, okay, I got to wash my hands for 20 seconds, or I got to do this or that, and wear my mask and make sure it's above my nose, and all these different things. And it's so critical for the safety of not just us as players, but really our families, our loved ones, our children, for you fans. I think it's such an important thing that we do it the right way. And I know the Seattle Seahawks are doing a great job of it. And I think that it's, it's a testament to Sam. Like I said earlier, the trainers, the strength staff, they're wiping out everything. Every time somebody touches a weight, we're wiping it down. Us as players doing our responsibilities too to wipe down things. And it doesn't mean that doesn't mean nothing will pop up, but we're hoping that we can be safe as possible and continue to do it the right way, and just continue to elevate, our game in a way in terms of, how we try to stay healthy for everyone, and especially for our families. Mm-hmm.
Jackie.
Hey Russ, the combination of Carlos Hyde and Chris Carson, they were just ranked by ESPN as one of the top 2 running back duos in the league. What do you like best about the combination of the two of them?
What could you not like? I mean, these guys run the ball well. They're physical. They block extremely well. They really care about the game. They just want to be great. They want to win. They'll do whatever it takes to win. I really love, obviously, Chris Carson. He's been a great teammate, a great friend in terms of just how he's approached everything that he's done. He's an overcomer in every way. You got to love that about him. And he's a winner, man. Chris Carson's a winner. Carlos Hyde coming to our team, I was fired up just because I know that he could really run the football. He's such a physical player. I heard that he was extremely smart and knew his stuff too as well. And as soon as he got here, he was just on top of his details and everything. And so no wonder why they're top ranked, type running back duo. And I think that they're really special in every way. They can catch it, they can run it, they can protect. They're confident. And I think people fear them, to be honest with you. And I think at a running back position, they got to fear you. And they instill that. They have a knack for the end zone, and they find a way.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Matt?
Russ, I know you and DK put in a lot of time in the off season, just living with you. I'm just curious, when you look at where he is now versus where he was at this point last year, what are the biggest differences that you see?
Well, I remember his first game, that he had against the Bengals. I mean, he made some great plays. I was like, okay, he's going to be okay, and I think I think he's just continued to evolve into one of the best receivers in the game. Not to be shy about it. I think that he is one of the top receivers in the game. He can do it all. He can run by you. He can jump over you. He can be physical with you, as you guys saw on a little pass to the right there. And at the end of the game, he just approaches the game the right way. He's a professional. He takes care of his body. He trains constantly. I mean, if you guys could just see the amount of work that we were able to put in Mexico when it's 102 degrees outside and it's hot, and how many reps we ran and how many times we just kept making sure that it was just perfect and this and that. I mean, the amount of hours, the amount of focus, the amount of time that we spent on film work and talking about ball and studying each drill and each movement and each thing that we did, and us competing to push each other, and then also at the same time having fun and shooting hoops and hanging out and just talking about life, talking about growth, talking about faith, talking about family. He's everything that you'd want. He's a high character guy. He's a guy who's going to leave it all on the field every time, and that's what I love about DK Metcalf. He's the best in the world at what he does.
And finally, Masvita.
Hey, Russ. When you hear about offense, great offenses, you hear, there's some mentality, aggressiveness, but you hear about the offensive coordinator, the quarterback, and some of the players. But how much does that start with the offensive line, like their attitude? And does this offensive line have an attitude like that, nastiness or something?
Yeah, it's a great question. I think that it all starts with the offensive line. Obviously, I think it starts with your quarterback and what he can do and all that. But I think without the offensive line, there's only so much you can do, and I think we can do everything because of those guys. We wouldn't be able to do all the stuff that we were able to do, throw the ball down the field and throw it quick and mix it up mid-range game and run the ball the way as well as we do and keep the tempo up and have these crucial situations and all that without extremely, extremely smart, talented, diligent offensive linemen. And I think it starts with Dwayne Brown, then it goes across the board to Big Mike, and then it goes to Ethan Posey, who has stepped up in a tremendous, tremendous way. He's been unbelievable all year, super confident. Then obviously D. Lou being a rookie. I noticed when we first got him that how much he was taking notes in our little, one-on-one Zoom meetings with the rookies, me and the rookies and all that, and just he really cared about it. He obviously just won a national championship. He loves the game. And then obviously Shell has stepped up in such an amazing way at the right tackle position for us that he's hard to get by, man, and he's really talented. So they're nasty as can be up front, and we love them because of it. And they want to win. They're focused every day, and that's why we can go up and down the field and in halftime, for example, right before half, within 21 seconds or 24 seconds on the clock, and score a touchdown with 21 seconds because of those guys. And so they should get all the credit, to be honest with you.
Thank you, Russ.
Okay, thank you guys so much. Go Hawks.